Another strike is looming at the Anglo-American platinum mine in Rustenburg in the northwest, and a strong media contingent continues to keep a close watch on the Pretoria hospital where former President Mandela is. With a news update, I'm Busima Kutulela. Another strike is looming at the Anglo-American platinum mine in Rustenburg in the northwest. This as the Workers' Committee is expected to meet today to discuss the current state of affairs at the mine. Yesterday, more than 2,000 workers had staged a sit-in underground at the company's Tabelani shaft. Workers were protesting against the suspension of their union leaders. The SABC's Dumeleng Khajane reports.
The mine management confirmed that some shop stewards affiliated to mine union AMCU have been suspended, not stating the reasons. It is however alleged that those shop stewards assaulted a member of the other union, UASA, when they attacked that union's offices. A member of the Workers' Committee says they were elevated to the surface by police late last night. This comes at a time when efforts are being put by Deputy President Kgalema Motlante's team to resolve the instability with the stakeholders in the mining industry.
A strong media contingent continues to keep a close watch on the Pretoria hospital where former President Mandela is. The number of media continues to grow, with others still arriving at the Mediclinic Heart Hospital in Pretoria. The elder statesman has been receiving treatment at the hospital for a recurring lung infection for over a week. Earlier on, Tshwane Metro Police officers ordered some of the journalists who had parked their cars opposite the hospital's entrance on Park Street to find alternative parking spots, but it seems their instructions were in vain. Phumzile Mlangeni has more.
Metro Police officers who patrolled the hospital surroundings this morning prevented journalists from parking opposite the entrance. They say they have been instructed not to allow anyone to park opposite the main entrance on Park Street, an entrance mostly used by Mandela's visitors. By this afternoon, journalists had gone back to the spots and there were no signs of any officers. Mandela's eldest daughter, Zenani Mandela Dlamini, arrived at the hospital along with family members just before midday. There is still no update on the condition of Mandela, with security continuing to remain tight at the hospital's both entrances. Meanwhile, well wishes for the former president keep pouring in.
Most of the bikers against e-tolls are adamant that should government go ahead with the planned tolling system, they will not register for tags. The motorcyclists have concluded a protest ride which disrupted traffic on major freeways around Johannesburg. They went from Beyersnodder Drive along the N1 North, down the N3 and along the N12 and N1, past Soweto back to their starting point. Bikers say they received a lot of support.
I hope they will listen, because if they don't listen, about 70% of the riders are not going to register anyway.
We're here to support OTA and against the e-toll system, and we hope that it will be successful. And quite a lot of bikes today here. You can see that the people are really against the e-tolling. It means that the government have to listen.
And finally, President Jacob Zuma, as SADC's facilitator for Zimbabwe, is expected to brief the Southern African regional body today on what presidential spokesperson Meg Maharaj calls a roadmap to elections. SADC called a special summit in Maputo, Mozambique, after Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe unilaterally announced July 31 as the date for Zimbabwe's elections. Zimbabwe wants SADC to contribute the over $300 million necessary to run its elections. But speaking to the SABC ahead of the summit, Mugabe ally and Justice Minister Patrick Chinamasa says he doesn't see SADC coming to the party.
Funding of elections, I'm not optimistic that SADC would raise the funding that we need. I'm more optimistic that we can raise the funding locally to fund our elections. And we have already started that exercise. If in the event that SADC chips in, it will be most welcome. But as you know, we have been pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps. Starting with the referendum, we were able to fund them locally, and also with the voter registration, we were able to raise the resources locally.